Not holding hands. Harry can't even look at her. He doesn't even do the gentleman thing and lets her go first. He doesn't gesture for her to sit down first. No, he just ignores the hell out of her. And this is painful to watch for Meghan Markle. It is. He doesn't say my wife. He doesn't mention her at all.
They really hate each other now, and they cannot hide it anymore. King Charles and Prince William put on a united front last night. I thought that would dominate the headlines until I saw the simmering tension between the duplicity.
He's just done. Meghan Markle keeps mentioning my husband and I, much. He doesn't say my wife and I at any point because he's done with this woman. And you know what's incredible to me? That
I'm so glad you guys get to meet Courtney as well. Yeah. We've been friends since college, just so you know.
Yeah, it's really an honor to be here and to be chatting about our book. Oh, sorry. This makes me nervous.
I can hold it for you also. I know it wasn't planned.
What if I told you the moment Meghan Markle walked on stage and Prince Harry didn't hand her the microphone wasn't just awkward, it was the first real crack in the Sussex brand. And in the next few minutes, you're going to see exactly how one tiny piece of body language exposed who's really in control, why the media tried to bury it, and what it tells us about where this marriage and this PR empire are actually heading. Because this wasn't just a husband and wife on stage. This was Hollywood versus Windsor, spotlight versus silence.
The headlines until I saw the simmering tension between the duplicitous Duke and his face.
Performance versus peace. And for once, Harry chose peace. Let's break it down. The first thing everyone noticed wasn't what they said, it was what they didn't do. They weren't holding hands. Harry wouldn't even look at her. No gentleman gesture, no, after you. No, my wife and I. Nothing. Just a prince laser-focused straight ahead like he was pretending she wasn't even there.
Because he's reading under a lamp. And she calls it, oh, the man still makes me laugh. So the closest, I want you guys to understand that she didn't post a video of him trying to purposely do something.
There. For Meghan Markle, who built an entire public persona on togetherness, unity, curated romance, that was brutal. She kept doing the usual line, my husband and I.
Standing there, preaching about children's safety online or children's safety at all. It's like Harvey Weinstein advocating for.
But he never once echoed it. He never said, my wife and I. That wasn't a slip. That was a signal. And it stood out even more because on the same night King Charles and Prince William were out presenting a united, polished royal front. That should have owned the headlines. But it didn't. Because something way more interesting was happening with Harry and Meghan. The mask slipped. Picture the setup. Harry's on stage, confident, composed, talking about children's safety online, talking like it's his night for once. Cameras on him, room locked in, audience actually listening. And then here she comes.
No intro, no que, no handoff.
Just Meghan walking in with that. The show begins now. Walk. Meghan doesn't enter rooms, she arrives. Normally when she does that, Harry immediately pivots, turns, introduces her, shares the light. That's been their pattern for years. Meghan talks, Harry supports. Meghan leads, Harry nods. But not this time. Harry did not turn, did not offer the mic, did not even flinch. His hand stayed on that microphone like it was a royal scepter. And in that second, the whole mood in the room changed. Everyone felt it. The cameras felt it. Even Meghan felt it, because her smile changed. Not the polished Duchess one, this was the tight, glass-cutting, are you really doing this right now? Smile. That's the smile people give when they're performing through anger. It was the first hint that this wasn't a cute couple moment. This was a power check. Half the room expected Meghan to take over like always. The other half was secretly hoping Harry would hold his ground.
And he did.
That's why it was so deliciously awkward. Because for years Harry has been her hype man. Her partner, yes, but also her amplifier. She speaks, he agrees. She brands, he co-signs. This time he said, without saying it, not today. And the silence told on them. Normally, when Meghan walks out, the audience claps automatically. Out of respect, out of habit, out of we don't want to look like haters. But not that night. The room froze. People actually didn't know whether to applaud or wait. That hesitation was historic. Because hesitation means the room saw something it wasn't supposed to see. And what it saw was tension.
Real, unedited, un Netflixed tensión.
Meghan stood there smiling like everything was fine. But her eyes kept flicking to the mic. Harry kept looking straight ahead. He didn't use her name. He didn't say, my wife. He didn't even do that loving look he used to give her early on when he'd gaze at her like, this woman, I love this woman. Those days,
Gone.
you could almost hear Meghan thinking, Harry, hand it over. And you could almost hear Harry thinking, no, that's the part social media went crazy over. Not shouting. Not drama. Not a fight. But that very British, very royal, very married version of rebellion. I'm not doing what I usually do. I am not giving you the moment. I am taking mine. And let's be real, this hit differently because Meghan has always been the grand entrance spouse. The one in the power dress. The one who looks main character ready. That night too, she came dressed to dominate. Sculpted gown, camera ready, Hollywood posture. Meanwhile, Harry was intentionally muted. Understated suit. Minimal flash. His whole vibe said, I'm here to talk, not perform. Her outfit said, I lead. His body said, not anymore. Even fashion people clocked it. Two people, same stage, two different movies. She came for headlines. He came for dignity. That's not a couple in sync. That's a couple negotiating. And then came the spin. Because of course it did. Within hours the glossy photos dropped. Meghan beaming, Harry smiling, headlines like, the Sussexes shine at charity event. No mention of the weird entrance. No mention of the silence. No mention of the non-introduction. It was a PR blanket thrown over a house fire. But the internet had receipts. Fan videos, side angles, grainy TikToks where you can literally hear the crowd go, quiet. And nothing exposes a fake narrative faster than amateur footage. That's when body language TikTok went to work. People slowed it down frame by frame. Look at Harry's shoulders, defensive. Look at Meghan's jaw, clenched. Look at how far apart they're standing, disconnected. Were some of those people just opinionated YouTubers with Wi-Fi? Absolutely. Did the public believe them anyway? Absolutely. Because what they were saying matched what everyone felt watching it live. This is not the same couple we met in 2018. And honestly, it tracks. For years, their whole brand has been, we left the palace because we wanted to live authentic, honest, independent lives. But now we're watching two people who don't even look authentic with each other. You cannot sell vulnerability to the world while doing frozen smile marital standoffs on stage. And Harry knows it. You could tell from how he carried himself afterward. Witnesses said backstage he was polite, friendly, talking to people but distant from Meghan. Not rude. Not explosive. Just separate. Meghan, on the other hand, went straight into performance mode, charming, greeting, smiling too hard. That's what people do when they know a bad clip is already on the internet. That's crisis smile. That's, I have to overcorrect what everyone just saw. And here's where it gets interesting. That one moment flipped the audience sympathy. For the first time in a long time, people online started rooting for Harry. Not as Meghan's partner. Not as Diana's son. As a man who looked like he wanted to breathe again. The comments were like, he finally stood up for himself. You can see he's done. He wants peace. She wants press. Whether that's true or not doesn't even matter. In PR, perception is power. And the perception now is, Harry wants out of the performance. Meghan wants to keep it going. That's dangerous for her, because once the internet starts framing you as the controlling one, the overactor, the person who can't share the spotlight, your sympathy meter drops. Especially when on the same night the real royals, Charles and William, are out here being united, measured, boring on purpose. Meanwhile, the ex-royals can't even pull off a two-person entrance without it turning into a meme. And let's just say it, Meghan interrupting him during a speech about children's safety? That's tone-deaf optics. That's why people were comparing it to Harvey Weinstein lecturing about women's safety. Because if you're going to make it about you, at least pick the right moment. Instead, she picked the one moment where everyone was actually listening to him. That's why it hit. That's why it spread. That's why the media tried to clean it up. Because it exposed the thing the Sussex machine never wants exposed. The dynamic. The real one. The one where Meghan has been leading the narrative for years and Harry finally said, I have a voice too. And once a man draws that line publicly, you can't unsee it. You can post all the photos, plant all the sources, leak all the they were just improvising stories you want. People already watched the tape. They saw the silence. They saw him not saying, my wife. They saw him not introducing her. They saw her smile get tighter. They saw the room hesitate. That's not a misunderstanding. That's a shift. Here's the bigger truth all of this points to. Harry looks like a man who wants stability, quiet, maybe even normalcy. Meghan still looks like a woman who wants momentum, visibility, center stage. Those are two different goals. You can love someone and still get exhausted by their need to perform. You can love someone and still decide